everyone. It's time for virtual camp for the month of August. It's our second week, and today we're making Perfectly Peacock crafts. So if you received your kit from Town Hall, go ahead and open it up. You're gonna have some items in there that we'll need for the crafts that we're making. We're making 2 crafts today. Now, first what we're gonna do is the CD craft, okay? So you should have a CD. Now, if you are watching this and you did not get a craft from us here at Town Hall, your parents, maybe you, someone in your family may have a CD that you would be allowed to use. And then you're going to have a printout of a peacock head. So you're gonna need to color this with markers, color pencils, crayons, something like that. And then I gave each of you a colored coffee filter. So I used watercolors to do this. This is what we're gonna use to make the feathers on your peacock. Now, there are gonna be a whole bunch of different ways you can do it. Like you could fold it in half like this. You can cut actual feathers. You could do both. You could cut your coffee filter in half and keep half of it looking like this, and then the other half you could cut into feathers. So we'll play around with that more in a few minutes, but those are just some ideas. So you're gonna also wanna have some scissors. You'll need to have some glue. Guess I have to make sure I have my glue, and I do. And then you also have 2 clothespins. These are what we're gonna use for the legs of our peacock. So let's go ahead and start with this part of the craft first. So I brought crayons, so I'm gonna go ahead and color my peacock head. You can color this whatever color you want, okay? So let's go ahead and start with that step first. And like I said, you can use markers, you can use crayons, colored pencils, whichever you prefer. And just color till your heart says, oh, that looks perfect. It doesn't need any more. I'm getting a weird texture on mine because I'm coloring on top of this tablecloth, and it's got, I think, dried glued, so I've got lots of bumps on my coloring. So color, 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 color. Make it as dark or as light as you want. So far, so good. I'm gonna give it an orange beak. You could do yellow, you could do black, you could do polka dot, whatever you think. And if you've never seen a peacock before, you could maybe look up a picture on the internet if you're allowed to do that. Their feathers are pretty cool though, when they spread them out. They're very, very pretty, very, very colorful. So, like I said, if you've never had the chance to see one, you should look one up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm getting there with my colors. Can you see? So now we're gonna fast forward so I don't have to color all day for you. And pow, here's my finished product. Okay, so next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and decide how we wanna do our feathers. So basically, you're gonna have 2 sides of your CD. This one has some words and some letters on it. This side is shiny clear. So this is what you wanna use as the front side of your peacock. Now, do you really have to do that? No, there's no rules, but I just think it looks prettier. So you're going to be gluing your peacock head. I would say try to do it in the center. But first what I wanna do is kind of play around and see where I want to have my feathers or what I want them to look like. So like I said, you could fold your coffee filter in half and have it like that. You could cut feathers out of your coffee filter. So just, you know, whatever you want your feathers to look like. You could put these on the back of your CD. This is what it would look like if we glued it down. Or you could even put them here, so you could glue the feathers down first, and then you could glue, having trouble picking it up, you could glue your peacock head down second. So that's an option. Like I said, if you were to cut this in half and keep one half straight or flat like this, cut the other half into feathers, what you could do is put your feathers, your peacock, and then use your other half to put at the back for just a bigger plume of feathers. It's up to you, okay? So those are just a couple of different ideas of how you could do it. Like I said, it's entirely up to you. This is your peacock. So you make it as perfect as you want it to be, okay? So I'm gonna try to figure out here what I wanna do. I think I might do some feathers down first and then maybe put more feathers in the back, I think. So go ahead and get your glue out. You could probably use squeeze glue, hot glue gun if your parents have one. I'm gonna just try a glue stick and hope that it works as well as I want it to. So I'm gonna glue my first feather down. Some of my feathers are bent, but that's okay. And you can make the feathers like really close together or really spread apart. So again, that's up to you also. Oopsies. You know, when the male peacock wants to have a girlfriend, it's the male that has all the pretty feathers. So the male will open up his feathers really wide and he'll walk over to the female and he kind of goes like this with his feathers. It's pretty cool to see. Sometimes it kind of makes him look like a show off, but he's just trying to be cool for the ladies, right? Wouldn't it be funny if that's what humans did? That'd be kind of silly. If when you're old enough to have a girlfriend and you walk around like this, that'd be kind of crazy, right? People would be like, why is that kid dancing all the time? Okay, so here's step one for me. I did 4 feathers. Now I'm gonna glue down my body, or my head. So I'm gonna glue the whole back. And be careful when you put glue on the top of the peacock's head because it's very fragile, I think. All right, so I'm gluing this down like so. I had glue all over myself. Notice how I just wiped my glue fingers on my pants? Good thing my mom is not doing my laundry because she would be like, oh my gosh, why did you do that? Okay, and I think just for some added fanciness, I'm gonna glue this on the back as well. Now, like I said, you don't have to do that. You decorate your peacock however you want. This is all about you and what you like. I think I need some more of this. Try to put it in the center if you can. Put my lid back on, and then you should probably let this dry. I'm gonna try to be brave and put my legs on quick so you can see the end product of what this is gonna look like. And there you go, you put your legs on, and you're gonna have to maybe play with them around, you know, like spread them out a little bit, but voila, here's your standing peacock. What do you guys think of that? That's pretty fun. And this is just using items that most of us probably have at the house. So that's really cool, right? You don't always have to go to the store and get supplies. Depending on where I stand it, it's getting a little top heavy. It just stood perfect for you guys to see, and now all of a sudden I can't get it to stand. I think it's this leg. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here. Have it stare at me while we move on to the next part. Okay, so the next part is we're going to make a peacock with a seashell. So the seashell is what's going to be the big feathers off the back of the body. Now, if you happen to watch the Art Ventures video where we made Kool-Aid Play-Doh, if you actually made that, hopefully you were able to make blue, or at least some shade of blue. If not, and you got your kit from me, you're gonna have some Play-Doh that I made. So if you smell it, I mean, you can kind of smell a little bit of the Kool-Aid scent, a little. You gotta smell really hard though, okay? So like I said, if you got the kit from me, I gave you some of the Play-Doh that I made. If you made your Play-Doh with the Art Ventures video, then that just means you can make more of these or you can make a bigger one, okay? Because that means you'll have extra Play-Doh. But first thing you want to do is you want to make a body, right? So you want to make a peacock body. So I'm just making my body round. So I'm just rolling the Play-Doh around in my hand into the shape of a ball, okay? Then we need to have a head, right? So this is our body, this is our head, and I'm making that round as well. I'm gonna just kind of put my finger in there to smash it down a bit so I have a good place to put my head, okay? And like I said, depending on how much Play-Doh you have, I mean, I didn't measure it out, I just pinched off some pieces for everyone. Then to kind of get it like a peacock has, I don't really know what it's called, a plume of feathers, we'll say. I'm going to try to put a little bit of a whatever on top of its head. So I just put 3 tiny little circles of Play-Doh. Then you're gonna have an orange piece of foam. Now you don't have to use this, but that's what I was gonna have you use for the beak. And I'm just kind of pushing it right in there, like so, okay? And then you'll have 2 eyes. Now these you can peel off the back. I'm just gonna kind of stick them down in to the Play-Doh. Now I did that and I made my beak kind of crooked. Look at that. That's okay though, we can adjust it. Okay, so the next thing, and really wish you probably painted this first. I kind of did it a little bit backwards today. So go ahead and grab some paint. So that means you're gonna need a paintbrush, right? Unless your parents wanna let you just finger paint, it's up to you guys. Go ahead and paint your shell. And again, this is going to be the feathers. So if you've looked at a peacock before, a lot of times they'll have like green, they'll have blue, sometimes there's yellow, orange, probably maybe some brown. So this again is your peacock. If you want it to be pink and orange, that's entirely your call. I trust you in your decisions, okay? So I'm just gonna paint this. Of course, mine's gonna need to dry. So that's the way I said maybe I should have done this part first, but that's okay. We will get through this on this lovely video for our second week of crafts to do. Okay, so here's my blue shell. I'm gonna try to get it to dry a little bit because I want to put some other colors on here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some green on here. If I can get down in there. And it could be stripes, it could be polka dots, it could be stars, it could be whatever you want. Squiggly lines, you name it. It could be a pattern. It doesn't have to be a pattern. It could be big, small, short, tall. It's your call, guys. So I've got some green on here, and I'm gonna use, it's kind of like a goldish color that I have up here. So you could use yellow, because yellow is nice and bright. This gold might be almost empty. I had to go down really far. Okay, here's the design I decided to make. Now, I'm gonna try to blow on this a little bit, so you're gonna have to watch me look like a crazy person because I wanna be able to put my seashell feathers in the back of my peacock so you can at least see what it's going to kind of look like at the end. And remember, when you're finished, feel free to send me some pictures of what your peacock looks like. This is so wet still, oh my goodness. But basically you're going to, look at this. Don't invite me over. I make too big of messes. Voila! Look at that. Here is your Perfectly Peacock made from Play-Doh. The Play-Doh that maybe you made on your own at home, which was really fun to do. What do you think? Pretty cute, huh? So we've got 2 fun peacock crafts that we did for our virtual camp this week. Very, very cute, very, very fun. So if you want to send me some pictures, I can't wait to see what yours look like. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.